I'm in my reverie, solo in my energy, sensing all your jealousy, take it. I don't care enough, I let it be. Nothing off my memories, if I ever hit it, I split it. No amount of teasing will get me on my knees. You don't freeze up, you matching my speed. And still, no amount of teasing.
Morning freaks, first run in the ASICS Superblast 2 this morning. I'm going to give you a comprehensive analysis after 4 kilometers of running, okay? They're good and they're orange. There you go. Also, has anyone else been keeping up with that crazy new pyramid news? What the hell's going on there? Can someone please explain, who's an engineer or something? What the fuck is going on down under those damn pyramids, man? What's going on? But anyways, today we're going to talk about footwear and feet and arches, because there seems to be a lot of confusion around what arches do and what they're good for, and whether you need a high arch or a low arch to run really fast, and why Eliud Kipchoge's feet flatten out into the ground when he's running at world record marathon pace. Why does he do that? We're going to break all of that down today. Okay, story time. So when I was like 16 or 17 years old, I went to a podiatrist and they said to me, I have flat feet, and they gave me these carbon fiber insoles. Look how big that damn heel is, Jesus Christ. And so I wore these for a long period of time, and after maybe 4 or 5 years, I decided to just stop wearing them. And then all of a sudden, my back stopped hurting, my hip stopped hurting. All this stuff that was kind of feeling a bit shit in my body just kind of stopped hurting all of a sudden. And since then, I've never looked back, and I've never used insoles again. Now, I'm not saying that insoles are inherently bad. I think for some people it can be good. But trying to fix particular issues, especially when it comes to foot arches and things like that, I don't know, I'm just not buying it. Like, I don't think it necessarily does a great deal for most people. And like I said before, when you look at the greatest runner of our generation, so far at least, Eliud Kipchoge, look at his feet. They are absolutely cooked when he's running, and I guarantee you that he's not wearing any insoles or anything like that, and it's not slowing him down, so why would it slow me down? But before I start going crazy and, you know, giving opinions left, right, and center, let's break down what feet and arches of the feet actually do, okay? Your foot has like all these bones in it, and the bones are basically there so that everything can kind of articulate around each other to make these big movements with your foot, okay? And the arch of the foot is the connective tissue that turns this movement into something that can store and release energy. It's pretty amazing. But what gets really confusing is trying to understand what a normal foot should move like when you're standing and running and jumping and taking out the bins on a Wednesdays. You know, we don't really know, and I don't think anyone actually knows, in my opinion anyway. So, the question of the day: what is the best kind of arch? A high arch or a low arch, or, you know, a normal arch? Which is the best for running that's going to make you the fastest runner? And to be honest, I don't know if there is an optimal. I feel like everyone's different. Like, even if you look at the top runners in the world, they don't all fall into the same kind of way that they move, or the way that their foot moves, or anything like that. They all have all kinds of different things going on in their bodies, whether they hold their arms in a certain way or they strike the ground in a certain way. I think that trying to get some sort of scientific optimal is probably too hard to do, and instead we need to focus on 2 main things: static foot posture and dynamic foot posture. Okay, static foot posture is essentially what your feet look like when you're standing there doing nothing. So when you go to a podiatrist or, you know, a sports store, and they get you to stand there, and they probably put you on some weird gel pads to see what's going on, that is your static foot posture. And what's interesting is that the second thing, the dynamic foot posture, can sometimes be completely different, okay? When I'm standing there, my arches look like absolute crap from a scientific point of view in terms of what's going to be normal and what's not normal and all that kinds of stuff. But when I'm running, there's literally no issues at all. That means that, I could assess myself with a static foot posture and determine that I need this particular thing. When in reality, when I go to do my sport of choice, there's no issues. Isn't that really weird? And look, I've looked through all of the current literature over the years and also recently, and there's not many studies on this kind of stuff because it's a study design that's really hard to actually get anything out of. There's so many factors involved in the way that people move and movement efficiency, running economy, injuries as well. It's a really complex topic, and so to try and find a optimal is, well, almost impossible. So here is what my ankles look like when I'm standing. So as you can see, pretty kind of flat. So if I were to fully pronate my feet, that's where it would be. And that's where I am. So pretty damn pronated. But if I were to hop on one foot, you'll start to see that my arches start to kick in a little bit and I look not too bad. Now that is because I have good storage capacity in my lower limbs, despite statically, when I'm just standing there, kind of looking a little bit crappy. That's pretty interesting stuff. So the things that we want to avoid, okay, the first one I like to call dead foot. It's a very strange name that I came up with a while ago, but it does give you a vivid understanding immediately of what I'm kind of talking about. Okay, imagine essentially what would happen is that you would put your foot on the ground in this kind of position, and then you would roll into what we call pronation and then bounce out of it, okay? That's this kind of phenomenon. And so a lot of people will fall into some sort of area through here where maybe they will start really high like this and then roll through. Maybe they'll start centrally like this and then roll through. But some people start the actual initial contact on the ground with their foot fully pronated, meaning like this. And essentially, when we land fully pronated, we basically negate any kind of storage capacity in the foot, okay? Which is not really good because the foot and the ankle complex, controlled by, the plantar fascia and the calves, contribute to so much of our forward propulsion when we're running. And so that can cause a bit of issues in terms of speed, but also probably a bit of injury risk, okay? Now, the next thing that we want to avoid is not having every single joint in the lower extremity actually stacked up on top of each other when we run. This is what this is going to kind of look like. So imagine when we take a step when we're running, when we put our foot out, you can imagine the ankle is here, the knee is directly above, and the hip is directly above again. That is what we're aiming for, okay? Now what can happen is if you are doing some weird sort of mechanical stuff, say for example, if you are fully pronating your foot, what can tend to happen is that you can start to externally rotate this tibia bone, meaning that it will go this way, and the knee will start to kind of curve into this direction, and so you'll end up running with a slight knee out position. So if you do have some pronation in your foot, okay, but everything's stacked up on top of each other, you have this nice flow like this going from supination to pronation and back, and everything's stacked up, then you're looking pretty good still. And that's exactly what Eliud Kipchoge looks like. Okay, I like to call this the Arch Builder Program, okay? This is for maximizing arches so that they are as dynamically stable and safe as possible, okay? The first exercise we're going to do, obviously, is calf raises, okay? We're going to do both single leg with a straight knee and a bent knee, okay? The calves store so much energy when we're running. We have to optimize them to the best level that we can. The stronger that our calves are, the faster that we will be able to run, okay? But also, the more energy that we're going to be able to store and propel into this foot for maximum speed. Now, the next exercise that I like to do personally to increase the dynamic stability of the actual foot itself is by doing a single leg squat, but with a twist, we're going to do it on our toes. So we're going to come up. So we're going to bring ourselves up into this position with maybe a little bit of a hand assistance for balance, okay? And we're going to go down and then come back up. Single leg squat. Now, the next exercise we're going to do is what I call a star balance, okay? This is about increasing ankle stability and proprioception, which is essentially your joint position sense when you're moving. People that have really good ankle joint motion sense tend to have better control of their arches when moving dynamically, okay? Because they're very in tune with what's going on with their ankles. Okay, star excursion. We're gonna stand on one leg. Try and keep all the joints stacked up like this. Trying to keep our arch, not like this, but up tall. And we're going to do a single leg squat again. Go out in front, then out to the side. Trying to keep everything stacked up. To the back and behind. If we keep our feet strong, we're not going to have any issues, okay? Keep them strong, dynamically strong, keep running, keep working on the strength of your arch and your calves, and you're going to be absolutely fine, okay? High arch, low arch, doesn't matter in my books. Do whatever you want to do. Peace out. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.